checking it out here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. A little pre-roll coming off the pre-show. Looks like we are live doing it with StreamYard. Fuck Skype. One of the worst programs of all time now, as everything moves to replace it, infidels. Yeah, we are live here. Twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. You know it's Wednesday night. There's only one place to be. After one of the biggest weeks in our history, we're going to lay back in the cut, put ourselves over, and take a look at the news of what's going on because our chat's been blowing up because they call me Big John Stud. My middle name's Mud. Dirty water flow too much for you thugs. They can't stand the flood. What up, Pop? Hold Big Sal down. And Big Stevie Cool, he's the sure shot. And you're going to get shot on tonight, infidels, here live at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. Yalla. Anytime I can get a Big John Stud Method Man rhyme out, you know I'm going to do it, Sal. No, don't dare me. I'm going to do
pop for it.
No, shut the fuck up. So yeah, man, we're back 4 strong. We missed Steve Areno, man. During the McAfee thing, he was there in spirit with us, and he talked me off the ledge a couple times before we had to go live to get me prepped for all of us to get prepped for the main event. So glad to have you back, Stevie.
Glad to be back. I'm sorry I missed it last week. I watched it and listened to it. It was pretty exciting, and he has the same love for the mainstream media that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we kind of led the way because I saw other outlets asking him about Epstein, but once again, the underground's there first. I think we got first dibs on kind of the straight interview where it wasn't anything about crypto. I mean, we took it there because we wanted to give him his shine. Everybody else has been a specific financial or tech style show that has interviewed him where he was just with the boys this time around, and you could really see how much he enjoyed himself. I could feel it, Sal. I think Sal got over the most, man, with him as well, with cracking whip on the wives and all that.
At the end, when we were logging off,
yeah,
she's like, "Oh, that was awesome." You heard her in the background say that.
Somebody told me that. I didn't hear it. But what was awesome, she sent me a really nice email after I followed up and said thanking them, like I would any guest that we have on, and doors open to have him back on at any time. So we'll see as his life gets more interesting. Maybe we'll be his lifeline and he'll give us an exclusive when the CIA chases him out of the next country that he lands in.
I think you got him when you said you can get him in a rap video. I think
I think it'd be huge, man. Here's what I was thinking. Like, here's my, I get the wheel spinning. We're all about media assassin and shit. So let's do something. I was thinking 5G, play off both things. Obviously, G for gangster, and that we could get him. I know we could get, Vinny Paz. We could get Frio. We could definitely get Rated R and King Gage. And then I would put him in just to sing.
We should try to get Mac 10.
Yeah. Maybe.
We could get my boy Maine the Medicine Man. He's really good too.
All right, so I mean, but like something that would be gangster and 5, and just make it like a cipher thing and have him in there, dude, and get some. He's got the line on to get some chicks for the video. That's gonna be no problem.
Well, he knows a thing or two about lines, so.
But yeah, if you guys haven't watched or listened yet, it was a big week for us. The video's up on my YouTube, just Ben Hamin channel, easy to find, and the audio at HackerHamin.podbean.com with the extended of GGP and I doing about an hour after that, talking about the Project Veritas, uncovered, which we're going to update on here tonight. But welcome back, everybody. Sally, how you doing tonight, man?
Good, man. Just trying to get all my, audio down. I don't know if it's my side or...
You sound fine.
Yeah, you sound all right.
Everybody started bouncing up and down, then everybody disappeared, and that's...
Maybe your shit's possessed from CERN. Spirit of Shiva is living in your computer.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. Quick question. I got an idea, and it's actually a great idea. Stevie, I need you to co-sign this. But because John McAfee's on the run now, I came up with a good win-win situation where we could smuggle him and hide him in your basement from the CIA, and he can feed all the 30, 35, whatever it is that you're up to now, little Asian kids cocaine, so they can work around the clock, so they can do more bands, so you can put out more product in less amount of time.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah, that's true. We cut back on a lot of our workforce.
Oh God, that means
yeah,
check
we
the
had
yard.
to because the program. What's that?
Check the yard underneath the shed.
Yeah,
we had to let a bunch of people go.
yeah. Had Ted Bundy Jr. out there digging holes. Because the programs are so overpriced. They're just not selling very well. So we just
I want to complain just for a
They're
second.
making iPhones though. I was
on SRF and I wanted to like it, and I liked it, and then I couldn't see if I liked it. So I don't know if I'm doing anything for you. I feel like I'm being cheated.
I felt my social experiment is going exactly as planned on YouTube.
Yeah, people were hitting me up with the McAfee stuff and be like, I can't believe how awesome this channel is. I didn't find it before. And I can't believe that some of these videos only have 40 views of past horsemen and shit. And I'm like, yeah, and we're demonetized and shadow banned. Fucking awesome, isn't it? So when you find it, or if you're here with us, like I see the chat room filled up, we got about 32 in there live now of our heavy hitters. It's about sharing this shit, man, because you can see we are flying the ointment, and we're not. Believe me, we haven't been bought off yet. Not that we wouldn't sell out in a minute for the right
heartbeat.
I'll tell you one thing though. A bunch of the people at my job over here, a lot of mortgages did not get reversed that day and stolen from the old people because they wanted to watch the interview. They couldn't believe we got them on, so they were all marking out for it. So.
Cool, man. I'm glad you got some shine there at work. And somebody we definitely got to give shine to, and a big thanks is Eric Kent, incredible comic book artist.
Yeah, man.
Who has come up with our new shirt for prowrestlingtees.com. You can check it out at any of our stores, at SEG Shirts, at Stevie Richards, at Greek God Poppin' or /BinHamin. I think I have it in charcoal. Somebody was asking us about hoodies. I think it would be awesome on that, but it's now, forgive me because I'm not the comic book guy, but it's an X-Men.
It's an X-Men Days of Future Past. I believe it was issue. What is it? 180 something or whatever the case may be, or two. I don't know. I actually have the statue of that comic book cover of Wolverine holding Kitty Pryde back. It's fucking dope.
So Adam Rivera explained to me that's a pretty iconic cover.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So and a big shout out to Adam Rivera too. He's really been helping us out with the pro wrestling tee stuff, getting us in contact with Eric, and taking, like I said, we have these new digital producers who are clipping things out and doing awesome work with that. I'm so impressed with everybody who's come on in the last month or so and just really carved out their piece, because it is so much as we expand. Our loyalists are hungry to do something, and they are. So that shirt is because of that, and it's probably the best piece of Horseman art I've seen. And we also got to put over 37 custom toys. He finished GGP and I this week with the Hasbro old school figures that he makes by hand, and he's working on Sal and Steve.
Oh, that's who did it, right? Yeah, Kent did it.
Yeah. So
shit. Okay.
So I think he was looking maybe for gear, just colors from Stevie and Sal.
Yeah,
or what you guys
I was
wanted,
bad.
but
I didn't get back to him about that.
Well,
I still have the wrestling game here in the closet that Sal and I have to play.
Well, I mean, now he's got the cover to kind of go off of from Eric Kent, so I'm sure he's ready to get the jump on that. I think we all look awesome. I actually marked out for Sal's gear the most, and he's got the burglar mask on kind of too. That popped the shit out of me. I wasn't sure if it was just shadow at first or not, but I like it. I think you should start wearing one of those full time, Sal.
I do. I just take it off for the show.
Oh, okay.
I thought you could actually host a view after I saw that. I thought you were in. Yeah.
Yeah, man, but we're all back in action here tonight.
Oh, it's okay if you host a view if you do that, right? That's what I've heard. Okay, yeah. Other than that, it's not okay. But
I want to Yakuza kick everybody on the view repeatedly.
I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you at all.
I hope Stevie's there so you can pull them off of me.
Let's see. I'm just gonna.
Oh my god.
Log in, super coded, double encrypted.
So are we in the video game now too? Or are we just in storyline mode?
Wait, what video game?
Retromania.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was the other part. Like Retromania is coming out, and we talked to Mike. Stevie had a great interview. Stevie Richards broadcast. You can check that out on his YouTube channel where they go into detail about Retromania. I know we're supposed to be figured in. I haven't seen any art or where we are. The only art that we saw and shared was this really cool studio where in story mode, the Horseman podcast things in the background, which, you know, that's glorious enough. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And now he, you know, offered, I guess, to hopefully get us in there. And if it goes down this round or not, it is what it is. But Stevie's got his whole Stevie Richards Fitness Gym in there. They've got NWA now. So regardless, man, this is, you know, just another independent endeavor in a time where nostalgia for our generation, this could hit it perfectly, where the 2K20 WWE game is the drizzling shit. Right?
I have not heard so many complaints since, oh my God.
This is the first time that the PSN, Sony PlayStation Store has like issued refunds
They're so
on
angry.
a game. The last time they did this, 2K19. So 2 years in a row, this game has been so bad. I mean, on Nintendo Switch, it was 1 frame per second.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was brutal. But quickly though, the big news about that too is because people always say it's a WrestleFest ripoff. It's a WrestleFest like generic version. It's officially licensed by Techno, so it's the official sequel to WrestleFest now.
And
WrestleFest,
you know,
was my jam.
To answer the question, I'm not sure. An update. A guy who's doing a solid like this, I'm not going to turn around and put the pressure on and be like, "Hey, give me an update on us in your video game." You know.
Also, I shouldn't email him anymore.
I'll say this: he sent me a very nice email out of nowhere saying how much he appreciates the Hamin Media brand and what we're doing, giving away a free product, talking truth, and being a light in, you know, what's an otherwise corrupt media that's just trying to work you. And that was something he didn't have to do. And I was really humbled by that. Sent him back a nice email. So regardless of what happens, mad respect for everything he's doing. And good things come to those who wait, you guys. We're just going to keep pushing that line forward. And as opportunities come, we will try and capitalize in the best way we can.
What a political fucking answer. I love it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll tell you right now, you want numbers? You want to be numbers guys? Over the last 30 days compared to the 30 days before that, we're up 12% on Podbean and on iTunes. And that's probably because of McAfee, because of the shows we've added and the partnerships that we're growing. And it's good, man. Everything, I would rather have everything moving at a steady pace instead of us traveling down a road at 95 miles an hour with our tits out ready to smash into a telephone pole. You know, I don't want that.
No, I agree with you 100%. I just asked you if we're in the game or if we're just in story mode. You're up on your fucking tirade. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. You'll definitely we'll definitely be in the game just because there's always DLC after the initial release. It might not be the first one, but they plan on adding wrestlers and staying within the budget of creating the artwork and doing all that stuff. It's not like a WWE just bases it on an initial scan and then just goes from there. These are actually people drawing artwork to put in the game for 8-bit. So it's actually harder to do it for this than the WWE game.
I would like one of my finishers to be a force choke, maybe a lightsaber. You cut someone in half. That'd be dope, like a super finish. And then maybe we can have Sal do like a Vulcan death pinch of doom, like rips the guy's spine out just like this.
Well, I'll give the official Stooge report now. You know, I've actually changed the Comey clutch. I forgot to tell this on Russo on Patreon, but I'll tell you right now, Rick Recon can be the first to be submitted.
Who?
Rick Recon.
Who? Fuck him.
On the 23rd. Oh, he's the first one to be submitted in the Epsteiner recliner. So he's the first one going. Oh, man. Let's see here. As I log back in, is the code cleared? Do we have security clearance? It looks like we do at the general neutral messaging system at conspiracyhorsemen@gmail.com. Password 33 1/3. Hiram Abiff if you want to log in.
That was a Monkeys album.
Hiram Abiff was
33 1/3 revolutions.
Hey, well, that's the revolutions, either that or 45 RPM, right, for record players.
Yeah, but it was 33 1/3 or 33 1/2 something revolutions was I think the Monkeys album.
They're a completely concocted band by an industry, so why wouldn't it be Freemasons to say let's make a new Beatles and have everything we want to TV show wise?
Sorry, just caught me.
More groupies, you know. Y'all, where do you guys want to start? The bottom or the top?
Right here.
I'll give you two headlines.
Just like the pile of abortion. Start at the bottom and each way up.
Leukemia question or too legit to quit?
Sounds like too legit to quits from Hans. Give me a second.
I don't want to talk to Roman Reigns. I just watched that Hobbs and Shaw, and I watched enough of Roman Reigns. So fuck leukemia.
All I want everyone out to know out there is that the NFO started a new show, which we call Mando Mania, and it's running wild. It's a review show of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, and our first episode, which dropped yesterday, and you can get on Podbean right now. We just dropped it today. We recorded yesterday. I mean, we dropped it today. Had a special run-in by my brother, my tag team partner, Ben Hamin.
Yes. Sith Hamin, to you, infidels, bow before your master. It was good, man. I loved hanging out and getting to see your co-host, to be able to thank them for the 35 episodes they've done here at Hamin Media. And, the high-level talk on Star Wars, because you guys have followed the lexicon from the books to the comics to the cartoons to all the movies to the Christmas specials and the references, to really be able to draw it all together at a high level, high intensity, kind of how I watch. I mean, I watch Star Wars like that, but I haven't read all the books. I wouldn't dare compare myself to
Star Wars. To me is like 3D printing to you. I get it.
I'm still a baby with that shit too. But it's maybe Sopranos or Breaking Bad I could break down at that level too. But no leukemia, so we're going to the top of the list, Stevie, from Hans.
Ha! Fucking right. Yeah. He sent the best email to New Force Order yesterday, and I popped huge.
Okay, there we go.
Now he's going to ruin it.
Yeah. Oh, I hope not.
Now he's going to botch it.
He's going to ruin it.
Shit, I left my old man glasses upstairs. All right. And I'm not going up to the 48th floor to get them. It's getting cliche, but for fucking real, y'all guests get legit better each week. I know saying that somewhere sounds like it kills the previous week's guest, but not the case. Ben, Pop, Sal, and Lord Stevie just elevate their game, truly raising the bar more than Sheamus and Cesaro. McAfee interview was more like story time with Uncle John. He just went on and everyone was waiting on every word. And I listened to this pod called No Mercy with Jimmy G. It's mostly a sports show, but the last few months he's been trying to go hard on the conspiracy shit. He did a Vegas shooting show. He's a former trader on Wall Street and said he looks at certain people's portfolios. He said that he saw the CEO of MGM in Vegas sold 80% of the stock 2 months before the shooting. Yes, he did. Also, he wrote that Soros' stocks, he also watches Soros' stocks. He said Soros had around 8,000 shares in 2 casinos and that he does not dabble hard in Vegas. However, 2 months prior, Soros took out put options on over 1 million shares of MGM stock. Complete coincidence right there, Lord Stevie. Do you think the coroner dropping hints of murder about Epstein could be a swerve to get people to stop thinking that he got swapped out? What are the chances of this guy hanging from a red scarf or going against the narrative if he's not a disinformation guy? Lastly, Ben, I can't believe you left out one of my favorite Wu-Tang mixtapes when you were rattling off the library, Ghostface, No Pork on My Fork. Oh, yeah. I lean West Coast, but I do fuck with some Wu-Tang. That was an underground banger. Keep up the dope shit. Yeah, motherfucking Allah. GP is a favorite fan of the King of Bong style. You know who. Yeah, very interesting. That's one thing we always kind of gloss over in the Muffle Sparks conversation of Vegas is, we should be following the money trail there. And those high level players in Vegas did some shenanigans that was very strange. I remember there was something also like on a pegboard or job board in the back. There was some piece of evidence that was like the link to that of 2 companies working together in the security part of things. That was
Chertoff. Chertoff wanted to have the same technology that was in the airports with the X-ray.
Yes.
So they basically, their contract ran out, or basically they made their money off the airport stuff. And now they were trying to get into schools, into casinos, into public events. So my thoughts on the Soros thing is, I don't think Soros is a MyHop type guy in this, or make it happen on purpose. I think in this, he just had that insider information.
Sure.
And he was able
to. What is that insider info? Is that coming from Saudi Arabia? Is that coming from a CIA, FBI that's in a deep state setup? And if they're the ones doing this and orchestrating this false flag tragedy, they're also juking the stock market, SEC, and these got to go all the way up to, CFR guys or whatever banksters who are cashing in early on false flags and thinking that that's not going to get found on the money trail through all of their offshore accounts or wherever it's getting juiced from. That's interesting to me. And nobody's really done any hard hitting follow up journalism wise.
Oh, and they're not going to. I mean, you're saying like they're going to get caught, and how many times have we caught this type of behavior, even on 9/11 with Building 7 and what was stored in there and all the Enron documents and what they did to Gaddafi because of the gold standard. What was the other thing? There's tons of instances. This is just another one. I mean, like they literally had a guy standing behind the sheriff, like giving him the friggin' devil eye, like you better not go off script. And he looked about as nervous as you can look. Nobody asked any questions from there. I think Soros thing is just basically my speculation. I don't think it's anything evil like they're sitting around, like around that round table where the Legion of Doom go. I'm saying like it was just like, hey man, you did me a favor back then. You gave me a good stock tip or whatever. Here's what's going on and make yourself some money. Like the boys helping each other out. That's the way they look at it.
Yeah, especially that guy at MGM's the top dude. So where is there a connection there? Hans, maybe do a little more research. That would be interesting that way. Sal, you've got your sleuthing hat on and spectacles tonight. And I feel that you may have
a murder mystery.
Yeah, that you might be able to solve.
Well, there's no mystery. We figured it out, haven't we? Like I don't see the mystery. We've pretty much.
How do the Saudis figure into this? Well, who is the one? We've got a guy who's a gun runner that with a cover story where he's obviously bringing these guns to the Saudis for a hit inside the royal family, and even when the hit team gets back, they get taken out on the covert. Khashoggi figures into that some way as well.
Let me lay this out. And
we got these guys catching on the Jewish side.
This can go across the board on anything we've covered. The Saudis, we all keep trying to find logic. We're trying to find logic on our level of why this is. Why are they involved? Why is this person involved? You know who doesn't make sense? Art the plumber. Why is he involved? It doesn't have to make sense to anybody. If they want to be involved, they're going to be involved with all of it. They can be involved with all of it. They can be involved with none of it. And I know that's kind of a general answer and a kind of almost like a kind of a bitch answer. But the fact is, we're never, ever going to find out what their connection is. Everything is going to be suspect at best. There will never be a trace, despite there being traces.
Because they're not even a part of the main story. That's just the underground that knows that, like the deep underground. That's
let me ask you a question.
Saudis were on.
So if they give you a picture, they hand you a picture of a Saudi, a guy in full gear, full gimmick as a Saudi, handing him a briefcase with money actually falling out and shaking hands with him. And there's the picture you got. And they go, well, the Saudi's handing him a briefcase. All you need is one person to go, the guy's just dressed up like a Saudi. It's not really a Saudi.
It's not really.
Now it's done. That's gone.
Halloween.
That theory is out the window. You will never be able to prove that to anybody.
I just checked it up on Snopes. It says
not a Saudi.
Shit.
Not a Saudi. That's it.
Sorry, Alex.
Saudi about your damn luck. You're wrong.
Very good. But yeah, that's an interesting twist on that. If we say follow the money trail, that is absolutely a big part of that as it got swept under the rug. And we saw the date that he checked in supposedly changed by 3 or 4 days with some simple journalism. Like there's a lot of people who could crack on this. Go ahead, man.
This is the deal. Okay. Maybe it's my Greek foresight. I don't know. This is what happened. The dude got in over his head, gambling debt, whatever. CIA moved in and said, hey, we'll pay off for your debts. This is what we need you to do. We need you to work a front and sell guns, say that you're an arms dealer to these people that we are following, very closely, and we need to get them in a purchase buy. So it was a sting operation. Dude got busted. They killed him. They started moving in. They shot the way out so they can escape. Now, why were they buying the guns? Because of the civil war within the Saudi families. They wanted to kill the prince that they thought was in the hotel, which was down the block, just as a cowboy in another fucking hotel. And that's all that there is to it. That's the underlying fucking angle that's been worked out.
Yeah, I think he's a gun runner, and it was for them in the hit. Now, who is it? FBI, CIA, and where is that connection? But it's one of those two. Where is that connection between the money guys who would know that this is coming? Now you can form up a timeline from when they cashed in to where they wouldn't, because if they cashed in, they were going to do it pretty quickly to get it set up so it would look less suspect. So in that 2.5 months beforehand, can we track their whereabouts, their schedule, who they met with, and maybe that will start unraveling? Maybe if they're just in the same spot as somebody else who could be what that. I mean, these are easy trails to follow with simple detective work.
Well, look at this. The SEC, they stopped investigating the people who shorted the airline stock of the plane that hit the towers that they made fucking millions on. And they shorted it very a close time before the things went down, a day before, whatever the case may be, 2 days before. They shorted this airline stock like they had some kind of inside information that the stock was going to plummet. And that's exactly what happened. Biggest freaking short, money-making short in the history of Wall Street. And these people just walked away for it. Said, nothing to see here.
Well, nobody claimed that money, though. That's what I heard about the short, unless they just didn't follow up. The news reported that about that stock being shorted, but they were waiting to see who would claim the stock short, and nobody ever did at the time. Now,
at the time,
it's a trap.
It's a shame. It's a shame he always just you got to kind of peel back all the bullshit and like whatever kind of comedy he does. But it'd be great to get Disco on and ask him, since he actually lives in Vegas, to recap because he's gone on show and say pretty much it's not what they said it was in Vegas. But it's interesting to see how people just don't. They just let it go now. It's too late. But what it was like then. Because what you're saying is that basically all those people got killed just as a distraction so they could take out the Saudi prince.
Yeah.
Like casualties of war. Be at the concert.
And I guarantee you the hit that the intel that the CIA or whatever alphabet boys were running in trying to get this guy, I guarantee you they got it from the opposing Saudi family. Probably the prince's family that was dressed up as a cowboy knew that these guys were going to go and murk him. And they said, hey, take this guy out, or else we're going to unveil some truth about your government to the people, or let people know who really was behind 9/11 or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I don't even think it was something that bad. I really think, again, it probably we keep looking to all these like insidious, horrible plots, and they're gonna kill this guy, do this. I guarantee, like when we were talking, I was discussing with like John McAfee and all the whistleblowers, all those people. Nobody ever just flat out showed up and tried to murder them. It was always they fucked with their life, they fucked with their finance, they fucked with their citizenship. I feel like these are the same things. We expect, because it's what we'd like to see. We'd like to have it to be some cloak and dagger shit. I just feel like it's not that exciting. All these fuckheads are all driven by money. And it all has to do with we're going to pull the block out of this company and fuck you so bad. And they were like, okay, hang on.
Well, listen, here's the deal, okay? If they kill any of these whistleblowers, they become martyrs. And then they become more powerful. So they know that. Then the truth starts coming out. Because people will realize that someone's death. Listen, I'm just saying. Yeah, if they get somebody who's spilling some truth and doing something they're not supposed to be doing, and they say, hey, man, you keep continuing down this path, we're going to get you fired. We're going to get your kids expelled from college. We're going to get your wife fired from her job. We're going to drain your bank accounts or freeze your accounts so you can't have the funds to buy or live, and you won't have an occupation in order for you to survive. Now, are you willing to starve your family? What's the person going to say?
Right.
No. So at the same time, then what happens? From the top scale, the 10,000-foot view, someone's going to go, well, if this guy really knows what he's talking about and the government really is guilty, they would have just took him out.
Right.
So what happens? They didn't take him out, so he must be a fucking loony, one of those tinfoil hat conspiracy guys, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. I stand by my government because they do me no wrong. That's the Nancy Brown, Jim Smith scenario that goes down all the time.
So now let me pose this to you. So according to what you're saying, and I'm again just doing the devil's advocate thing here. So you are saying that if they have the information and they're killed, they'll become a martyr and more strong, and they'll really empower the movement. So what was the name of that the Saudi girl who she was a reporter and she was killed like a month and a half ago?
That's a difference.
Why?
Because that's not the U.S. government. That's the Saudi government. They can
But
care less what people think.
she was a citizen. We knew about her.
Yeah, but what are we gonna do? These guys fucking helped us take down two
but
towers,
again, the
and we're
point is,
over there
we
bowing
can't
to them and
name
shaking
her.
their hands.
We can't even remember her name, unfortunately. And I read about her this afternoon, and I forgot her fucking name. And nobody's gonna remember her. Nobody's gonna call her. They put a great spread on the thing. All the comments of all of her coworkers. What a great reporter she was, and she had a bright, promising future. But it doesn't make them stronger. They go away in a news cycle, and it's done.
Well, yeah, you're right. But all you need is one crack in the foundation to start the things to crumble, and that's what they're scared of the most.
There's a million cracks, man.
Hey, dude, don't
get hot.
No, I'm not hot. What did Uncle John say? Huh? What did Johnny Mac say? He said that.
Call me when GGP's off the line. I don't.
No.
Oh.
Nice. He said the following. He said everything that Snowden has said is technologically correct.
Yes.
So, from a technological standpoint, and the guy knows about technology. Obviously, he's the one who invented the antivirus stuff. Snowden has been accurate and factual. But his intentions and who he's working for is not. Because if you're considered a traitor by this country and you're considered a whistleblower and the public enemy number one, they wouldn't be allowing you to be doing Joe Rogan interviews. They wouldn't be allowing Hollywood to be making movies about you. They wouldn't allow you to be making books. Come on. The thing's a work. It's a giant work. So there it is. The proof is in plain sight. It's whether or not you want to believe it and the perception of what's going on that separates the four of us from the Jim Smiths and the Nancy Browns.
Yeah. And Stevie's still jealous of Snowden's mic setup. Stevie, what do you think that is going to happen possibly with this coroner? Dropping hints. We also and workers are going to be subpoenaed in this from there to, like we said, more cracks in the foundation, whether it's Epstein. We heard McAfee's kind of take on it, and then the Project Veritas stuff last week, and even now MSG Matt Schaffer scooped me to it this morning. Inside ABC, there's a mole hunt for the person who's the stooge of things that are going off, and it's named after some Harry Potter spell, like Intergoal or something. I can't remember what.
Well, they already fired ABC. Already fired somebody, but it wasn't the person.
It wasn't the person, so they're fucking stupid.
Listen, this is
you know who it was who leaked it, right? It was Lori Loughlin. She was pissed that they canceled Full House and that she's going to jail for fucking 50 years for bribing the colleges. So she goes, if I'm going down, everyone's going down.
How rude.
This woman is going to jail, and is she ostracized because she paid money because she wanted her kids to get into a college.
Now,
the people we're talking about will never spend a day in jail.
Yeah.
Will never get the cuffs put on them. I'm sorry.
It's the long game, Stevie.
Yeah, I was about to say I hate that.
What's the guy from Shameless?
Yeah, somebody else that got killed at sale. I can't remember.
No,
from the show.
At least we have CT. We all have CT, so we have a reason not to remember.
Macy, William H. Macy. What's his wife?
William H. Macy.
Thank you.
Sheila.
His wife. Yes, his wife Sheila. She paid like $10,000. Lori Loughlin and her dopey husband paid like $350,000. It's like, and what's her name? Felicity Huffman, right? That's her. She's already out. Like
she did 9 days in jail.
Yeah, and she's done. Meanwhile, Lori Loughlin is like fucking setting up her fucking house over there.
That's because she didn't take the rap. She wanted to fight it, and now they're gonna like, all right, you want to bite the hand that feeds you? We're gonna make it
But that's what I'm saying.
Out of you.
They're making the example out of her, and they have the money to I'm saying, like, they have the money to get out of this,
her agent is probably going, this is just the kick your career needs. When you come out, you're going to do all the talk shows. We're going to have you everything, the book deal, You're going to be on Lifetime. They already want you. Everybody wants you. You just got to go in and do your 2 years.
Is it bad that I want fucking Fruit Loops, the chick with the big afro puffs, to just fucking smile her in jail?
Hey, how dare you? Don't do that to Aunt Becky. She's a national treasure, man.
Cut it
She's
out.
no John Stamos.
No, she's not. But you know what? Technically, she is Greek by injection from the show, so I'm rooting for her. But you know what else Uncle John said real quick before we go to the next email? Someone says on Twitter, and I popped for this, that he claims Epstein killed himself. He goes, I never said that Epstein committed, he killed himself. He goes, I never said that. I just said he wasn't, no, the Epstein, what did he say? That he was murdered. Epstein was murdered. He goes, I never said Epstein was murdered. All I said is he never killed himself.
He said he never killed himself.
Which means he could be alive.
Exactly. The plot thickens.
Yep. And we've seen, some possibly Photoshop things where they showed the body and the ears don't match up. And it would not surprise me. We saw the rib thing where some Saudi prince bought the island. That
was great.
Yeah. So some good ribs going around the internet, Epstein memes. But dude, if he can escape, and we saw this from Australia, supposedly Australia, 60 Minutes of a whistleblower, one of the Epstein chicks who was molested, raped by him, his confidant, and they're trying to paint these girls as obviously sexually abused underage impressionable girls. At the same time, that also says Epstein slept with over 1,000 models from this guy's modeling agency. Well, welcome to the modeling world. That this is what you are, is pretty much a high price hooker most of the time. So to paint these girls into I never knew what I was getting into.
Yeah,
sure you didn't.
Well,
I can't wait.
Let's not gloss over the fact that this ABC News person that supposedly had the hot mic and was saying all these things, people are treating her like she's either a hero and or a victim.
Yeah.
Listen closely to the
She's
words.
a cunt.
Listen closely to the words of why she is so pissed off. She's pissed off because she had to hold back, because basically this is all career-driven stuff.
Right.
And
she didn't get the shine on her. That's what it was, dude.
Yeah.
The shine's not on her. And people are getting killed, molested, murdered in the last 3 years for what they know. She might have been able to save Soundgarden and Chester fucking gimmick.
Yeah, but you know what? She had to interview the royal family. That was her thing. Well, I couldn't interview Kate and whoever. I had to.
Kate and Bill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I did not kill myself is the new chic that just bought it.
Kate, was it Kate and 8? Kate killed 8. What's the new show on the we're gonna see now? The new fucking thing. Will and Kate killed 8. Whatever.
Or Kate dating. Yeah. Kate's dating. I saw a couple of those.
Bill and Hillary killed a lot more than that. From
it was only 34. What's wrong with you?
From what may be a bot, what may not be a bot, from our big sponsors the last 2 months. We appreciate them. From Brent Logan. From it says humanity lost. All right. Hi guys. This is a real life thing that just happened.
He was so excited about this.
That makes me think all humanity is lost. At the moment, around northeast of Australia, we're having some really crazy bushfires. So bad, in fact, that they closed over 600 schools and businesses as a precaution.
Burns when they pee.
Yep. You got to get some cream for that, bro. An article came out which was inspired from one of the firemen, how one of the political parties, called the Greens, stopped the burn reduction, which is a method of backburning to stop fires as big as what they are now. The native people of Australia used this method a long time before Europeans came here. Yes, Strangler Steve, it is real. Anyways, a guy I know I've known for 8 years who is a vegan and environmental guy asked me why I think the fires are worse than usual. I explained because the Greens stopped the backburning and the fire reduction, even sent the article that was inspired from the firemen. This guy and myself have always had a middle ground when it comes to our own beliefs and ideas. Now, instead of actually having a conversation with me, he calls the article biased, calls me a right-wing redneck who should burn in hell for eating meat, attacks me for other things, then blocks me on Facebook. This was a very strange encounter, and this guy is a married father of 2 and is an educator. He's also an intelligent person, or so I thought. After this episode, I'm believing more and more that humanity is lost. What do you guys think? All the best, guys. Brent.
Should tear his throat out. Eat it.
Yeah. He sounds like one type of goanna, doesn't he? Yeah, dude.
Real cocksucker.
I had a lot of these interactions kind of 2008 to 2012-ish. And there's some going down now, but I don't sell the Trump ones. But when people were going real hard for Obama or just trying to get in that early SJW, they just had to get their vitriol out in America. They may have made a wrong choice and they went down that road, and there's just somebody to lash out to who's talking truth. And at that time when I was doing it, we were all in the wind solo. Everybody you see here was taking lashings, trying to spread that truth. So I'm not trying to say Australia is way behind, or
they are. They're a bunch of fucking backwoods people.
Well, I think they don't have the PTSD that America has, and that's why we got.
They're getting it though. They're getting it so quick. It's hitting them so fast and so hard.
Right.
What was Brett told us last time? He was like, some guy had a T-shirt. They canceled the whole fucking thing. They canceled the whole concert because the guy had a Nazi T-shirt.
And that's what's going on. And for us to explain to you, Brent, that's what is going on. It does feel like humanity's falling, but you're getting what took 8 years into 2 years or a year and a half. And I can only imagine how breakneck that changes for people not being able to deal with it, where they have to step up their liberal or conservative views just to fucking punch, and it's a mistake to do that.
And here's the thing, from my extremely narrow, biased, almost stereotypical view of Australia, this is a continent of people who just did not give a fuck about anything. You couldn't, in my mind, you could not phase a fucking Australian with anything. Like, hey, man, there's a fucking tarantula in here. Hey, leave him alone, fuck him. Or, hey, look at that. Nah, fuck it, it's good. Now, everybody freaks out. Worse than almost as bad as they do here.
Do you think it's because of how America has been franchised around the world, whether it's food or whatever, in our culture, that the pussy culture is also franchised? They just have to follow suit in like that way?
I feel like that's the thing they want to keep up with.
Okay.
That's the easiest thing to transfer over via media, via Twitter, and this instantaneous exchange.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything money,
right? And they're not, they don't have to wait around because, everybody makes a joke like in Russia. You go to Russia, they're just getting Three's Company over there, so that's the new fucking show on ABC.
Yeah.
So,
awesome,
right? But you don't have that anymore.
Is it Roper or is it Furley?
They start from the front, so it's Roper right off the bat.
Just asking.
And but yeah, so they in social media now, they don't have to wait. They're not behind anymore, so they want to be woke. See, and Stevie,
don't use that word on this podcast.
I have to, because here's the deal, Stevie. There's me, you, and Chuck. We have some business to talk about. Another episode coming up for a lot of venom for people. But that's the thing. Right now, everybody wants to be the most woke. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be.
It
doesn't matter. Everybody wants to be enlightened. Everybody needs to be. Listen,
the most woke is what has transsexuals stripping at fucking
at elementary schools,
libraries and shit. Yeah, that's what being the most woke.
Woke is not awake. Two totally different things.
And just for the record, since we're on StreamYard, I can't even fucking mute that. So
we know who the most thirsty is. That's for sure.
7 p.m. Everybody, it's like a clock.
Well, he got his cookies, now he's thirsty. So anyway, everybody is competing right now, and there is no holdup. Like, there is no delay in them getting. Well, you're supposed to be this way. You're supposed to act this way. You're supposed to be outraged by this. This is supposed to bother you. And there's no delay in them getting it. So, I'm not going to blame any specific age group, because it's across the board.
Listen, it's got to be media driven. It's got to be part of the greater media conspiracy to hit these people with all this at the same time.
What this is like, to use an analogy, is not going to class for a whole semester and showing up there for the first couple of days for attendance, and then showing up before the day of the final, but you crash course for 48 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours reading the cliff notes in order to take the final so you can get a good grade in the class. That's exactly what's going on right now in Australia. Same scenario. They didn't get hit with all this nonsense that we got over the last 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever.
Wear you down systematically. Yeah.
Yeah, now they're getting hit in their face within a year and a half, 2 years. So let's fit 20 bags of shit in a 10-pound bag. So that's exactly what's going on.
Stevie, loss of humanity, yeah or nay?
Oh, God.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Voluntarily lost.
Yes.
For convenience. They've traded everything for convenience, for on demand. They don't care that 5G has never been tested. It's fast. I don't care. Put it right in my pocket. They don't care that cancer's up. They don't care that they're being lied to. They don't care that the supposed elite. I hate to use that term, but
yeah,
it's just everything. Giving up our money, giving up our freedom, giving up our choice of everything, giving up the quality of life and the future of our generations to come voluntarily for some odd reason. That's woke. That's not awake. Awake means you fight every step of the way. They're just, by the way, they're trying to renew the Patriot Act secretly. That's supposedly coming up in the next month.
It's going to be rebranded as something else, though. It's called something else.
What's it called?
The Jim Duggan Act?
The Del Wilkes.
The Del Wilkes Act. The
Tom Brady
It's
Act.
probably going to be called.
Tom
It's probably
Brady
going to be
Act.
called some like the. I bet they call it something. They got to find some boogeyman or something, or it's like the right to, like Georgia's a right to work state, but you know who it favors? The
People with
employer,
jobs?
the
Wow.
employers. But if you hear right to work state, you think, oh, it favors the employees. It's not
What
the
about a
way
right
it
to
is.
censor state?
Yeah.
Wow. Did the air get sucked out of the room? Fuck.
Right, the Rumble's coming
Jesus
up. Thanks for
Christ.
reminding me.
Yeah.
I thought you were retired.
I am
Well, actually,
retired.
after the beating that PJ Hawks gave you, man, you fucking should retire.
for
It's not,
McAfee.
it's not on the level of Rick Recon, but it's pretty bad, I bet.
Yeah. He's a professional, PJ Hawks. He can work. Rick Recon's a piece of shit.
For McAfee, James Dudebud, sorry, but I missed this before we saw it because I like this. Yo, Ben, can you ask McAfee a question? Because it's going to be very telling about how he answers it. You can Google the answer, but somebody like him should give a very unique answer. Quote, the question was, do governments or anybody for that matter have the capability of factoring 4096-bit RSA modules or modulus, it should be.
Hold on, I'm looking at Snopes. Nope.
No, they don't. Nobody's got it. Sal, how they doing
Makes
with
sense.
that over there? CERN.
I'm just looking it up, and it says no.
No. All right.
Nope. I did look up on.
Stevie, did anybody
Snopes.
send you any 4096 moduluses lately or no?
No, I haven't written an email about that. I'll have to write. What company sells those?
We'll have to figure that one out.
Acme.
Although, what did you say?
RSA.
2045, right?
4096 RSA modules.
That
4096.
2045 video you sent was pretty good.
Yeah. Did you like that? With
I
I didn't get a chance to see it. Shit, it's
I
good.
did like that.
I've seen it. I've taught it. It came out in 2012. I mean, you can look it up. 2045 and the letter
man.
RU, and then transhumanism. It'll come out and it lays out the whole movement of what the Russian billionaires want to do to digitize our consciousness to put us into avatars. And Sal had sent these. I think it was Sal, or was it you that sent the video of the cubes that move with magnets?
Oh, I did.
And can actually transform and move and redo themselves. Now, if you were to take that and shrink those cubes down that were maybe an inch by an inch and that were actually crawling and they're cute, and you're like, oh, look at the blocks move and do that. Well, guess what the fuck that is? That's a
Technology, baby.
That's a transformer. Now,
That was scary. That's what it
you
was.
shrink
dude.
that down to nanobot size where you have in that 1 by 1 inch cube 1 million little tiny cubes or pixels that can do that same shit. Now we could have robots that could change all shapes and sizes to a bee swarm and then reform into Terminator because of the way they can reform and reshape, all run together in one system with your fucking consciousness downloaded on you forever. That's humanity living forever in a transhumanist way, and it's outlined in that video I sent you guys. And here we are, man.
Do you remember the show Fringe?
Yeah.
No.
I remember, but I don't really watch it.
You need to do that. Go do that.
Wait, where's it on?
I'll see you guys later. I got it.
Yeah, just get the fuck out of here. We got to go watch that show. They one of the episodes, like, again, I don't remember.
Is that the one with Jennifer Aniston?
No. How dare you?
You said Friends, right?
Yeah, go Friends. The one with Phoebe and then the other ones. Yes. There was one episode. It was the one. It's actually the title was the one with nanos. The opening was them just throwing a cloud of nano bugs, for lack of a better term, into an air vent, and it went into a guy's nose, killed him. Nobody had any idea why. So now, just as an opening of a show, you're like, oh shit, what if that's real? Boom, done. And of course it's real. They've been talking about it for decades. How is it, how could you think it's not real? So when I was watching that video, it's from 2012, and it's like, okay, so they got Avatar in this, and they have an Avatar that does this, and then you download your consciousness into this, and it's basically Second Life, which is a game that people have played now. And then you can transfer that and say, well, what if the people playing Second Life are actually beta testing what they have, or something they want to launch to make it publicly available? So then you talk about the nanobots again with the little cubes. So you got these little cubes that they're going to sell at the Javits Center at a toy convention. And then what if these are just beta tests? Right, they are, or that's the beta test from 30 years ago that McAfee was telling us about. That's being now what they have. Curtains never fully pulled back.
No, not at all with this, but with that 2045 video where they laid it out, we're almost 5-6 years ahead of what the roadmap was for that. So this brings us to the moral question, and I'll ask my spiritual guys this because I saw GGP shaking his head no, but you're also a family man, and Stevie, forgive me if I set this premise up and it's a little tasteless, but you lost your brother, who I'm sure you would love to have contact with. What if before they went, or GGP, before you pass away, you were able to make a clone copy of your consciousness? Then you do pass away, and there is this nanobot version of you, or Stevie's brother could have done that, where the family can have interaction with them. It will have all of your AI thoughts because it's been programmed by you to think like you from your synapses and neurons, and taking everything and it'll make the same choices that your family would be able to go to and ask dad for advice, or be there in the background. It might not really be living forever. It might just be a cloned copy, and it doesn't know that it is you. But what do you guys think? Would that be something you would want to do, or
hell no.
Is that just pushing things too far?
Listen, doing something like that is ridiculous because, number one, it disrupts the natural order of things. Number two, individuals around you, as morbid as this sounds, have to learn to deal with a loved one dying, because it makes you appreciate life that much more. If you get coddled and, oh, mom and dad or brother and sister passed away, but I can upload their consciousness into something digital so they can always be with me, and I can't suffer for the loss, so they can always be there by my side, then how the hell are you going to learn anything about life? You need your ups, you need your downs. It's the facts of life.
Do you hate on Superman for that?
Why would I hate on Superman?
Because that's what he does, the same shit. He goes to the fucking ice palace there, puts his crystals in, and talks to his old man when he needs some advice.
That's fictional, though. That's a fucking story. Now, look.
This is fiction.
Hold on. So question. Okay, here, I was thinking about this as you were talking. There was a movie with Michael Keaton where he was dying of
Multiplicity.
cancer.
White noise. White noise.
I don't know if that was it, but he was dying of cancer, and
Birdman.
It was fucking Batman. You happy now, Dick? Shut up. So it was he was dying of cancer, and his wife just got pregnant. They were trying to have kids, and then when they found out she's pregnant, no, it wasn't Mr. Mom, and it wasn't Gung Ho either.
Beetlejuice.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, I love you guys. Uh,
The
so
Falcon. The Falcon, is that the one where he was the bird?
Birdman.
No.
Vulture.
Birdman. Oh yeah.
What the-
Keep up.
That was a good movie.
Everything's wrong.
So here's the deal. Before he dies, he was supposed to die before his kid was born. He videotaped himself teaching the kid life lessons. If it was a boy, teaches him how to shave, has the birds and bees, recorded.
Wasn't it
Like,
Jack Frost?
Jack Frost.
No, it wasn't Jack Frost. This is something else. Jack Frost was similar, but this was something else.
Okay.
So that retrospect, fine. Okay? Because you're teaching them things that you're trying to set them up so they can, you're teaching your son how to shave. You're teaching your son about the birds and the bees. You're teaching them how to be a man because they need a father figure in their life. But to upload a clone consciousness into an AI system so they can always have somebody with them, no, that's almost like giving a participation trophy to everybody who played the game because you don't want to.
What if it
Why?
becomes part of war where
Wait.
you go off to fight war and you're killed, but your family doesn't want to be traumatized, so you have one of those to come home to play ball with your kid. He never really knows that you got aced out in war. He doesn't have to go through that. My dad, I didn't have that.
Let me reverse that then.
Sure, go ahead.
Why not? Why not have it the opposite way and have consciousness or have some kind of AI?
Let them go
fight
to
the
war. Clone Wars.
Oh, they will.
But here's the thing with that. First of all, Papadon's completely right. In a different way, I don't think people would feel like what we talk about in wrestling, having stakes. I don't think people would feel like there's any stakes in life or any sense of urgency to do anything because it's like, hey, if I die anyway, I'm just gonna. It would really.
That's the whole point of that video. I know you didn't get to see it, but it's about transcending. It's about first creating robots to do all of our menial jobs so we can focus on what is important in life, which is communication, love, expanding our artistic mind, because all these robots and androids that we can make of ourselves will free us up to become that enlightened being.
That will never happen, and I'll tell you why.
Hang on.
Wait, I'll finish my thought real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just very. But also, I mean, many people. Elon Musk doesn't talk about it much anymore, which is really strange. But anybody who's in that industry says that once AI becomes a certain level of self-aware, it's just like you saw in Terminator, but in real life, becoming self-aware and knowing that it's more intelligent, more resilient, and more reliable than any human being out there, and also will last a lot longer. If you upload that into AI, now you potentially have a pet cemetery scenario where your family members are basically rolling over you. I don't know, because you just talked about Transformers and nanites and all these other things that was started in Star Trek, but now it's real life. I mean, anything that's ever been invented has been weaponized. That's the sad part. As human beings, we weaponize it. Even if it's against ourselves, we will find a way to fucking kill with it. Guys, I'm done.
That's what we do best. That's what makes money.
Well, listen, this is what I was going to say. We will never have robots working for us so we can focus on love and doing all these things that are important to us, because the 1% of the people that have the majority of the power in this world want us working 24/7 with our heads down in the rat race to keep us divided so they can keep all the money. If we get robots to do all our jobs for us and we have nothing to do with our free time, guess what? We start to think of things, unless we're distracted by other little median things. But regardless of that, what's going to happen? Then everyone's on an even playing field. I don't have to work 40 hours a week. I can sit back and have someone else do my job for me and enjoy a binge watching series of Breaking Bad. Or I can go make 37 other kids, or whatever the case may be. It's not going to happen because the 1%.
That's why it's a 2045 movement. It's not a 1%. This is a select few with Russian billionaires and high-tech people from Google, Ray Kurzweil, who believes that we can get to immortality. And what I laid out was a copy of it. They're talking post that, an absolute complete digital transfer of your consciousness before you die. You just shed your body, be like, all right, I'm leaving this. All your body is a fucking fallible vessel that pumps blood, right? And if everything is electrical signals, then why can't we just fucking clone this computer into that one like Geek Squad would, and you have the same thing? You just have a new vessel is what it is. And I didn't want to pluck at your heartstrings, Stevie, too hard there, but would that be enough you know, to say, yes, I'd like to have that moment with my brother, to be able to accept that kind of stuff and GGP, you nailed it, a complete deviation from how we look at society and life altogether. This could free you up till the end of time, or till, you know, when we do finally get hit by Planet X, you'll still be there to see it.
Well, what happens with that too is, I wouldn't. I don't know how my parents would feel, because a parent who loses their kid is not thinking in a logical state. They just want it. They just want it, and that's all they care about. I just still feel like it comes from a place of faith, like me and Papadon do. Papadon and I. See, I corrected myself. Nice. Then what do you? I mean, does it answer the question, or does it eliminate the question of, like, what happens after you die?
It eliminates.
Like, are you? But will that turn into a hell on earth for something that's aware, and the person doesn't know their AI, but they're still living here in all this shit?
How about if you just die and there's nothing but darkness? There is no afterlife. There is no heaven or hell. And you trick that now.
Hang on.
No. You at least go. I at least believe, if you don't believe in God or heaven or whatever, your energy has to at least go to a different plane, a different dimension, whatever you want to call it. Something happens. Like you can at least agree with that it just doesn't go out, because we waste too much fucking time. If that's really what you believe, how many hours of your day are you going to waste if you know when it's over, the candle just fucking gets blown out?
Right. So what you're talking about, so between you and Papadon, what you've just said now, so you're acting like this clone is just going to wake up and be like, well, what am I doing here? Today's my first day on the planet. No, this is your shit in your own thoughts being transferred to a different vessel. That's it. So when your eyes open up again, you're like, wow, okay, where am I? Let me see a mirror. Okay, cool, it's me. And you're done. You're ready.
Well, your family might freak out then and not be able to kayfabe the fact that you're coming back from the dead.
Who's kayfabing it?
Maybe you don't. Yeah, you don't. There is no like he died. You go, you schedule an appointment. Hey, I'm 74 years old. I know my body's only got 2 years left on it. Like, by that time, we should be able to predict that shit, right? I'm going to go in and do my transfer over. It's not a death anymore. It's just a transfer. And then that fucking organic material that
you're done, man. You took your suit off. You put a different suit on. You're ready to go back out.
Wasn't there a thing like what was the movie? Was Bradley Cooper and somebody else in it where they Ben Kingsley and switched? He was a rich guy,
convoluted. He needed the young body.
The wife over. That's what I mean. Where does the consciousness get placed? Will there be a new black market?
Time out. You know what? You missed this one, Stevie.
Yeah.
But Mr. McAfee said something that has changed my life on my viewpoint, because he said, when he was talking about his blockchain shit, and he was like, well, can't criminals use it? Well, yeah, just like they use cars and cell phones and guns and everything else. You're never going to get rid of that black market. He's right. Yeah. Off my conscience, I can go to sleep now. Number two, what I was saying earlier, GGP is saying, well, you're going to walk around and you're going to have somebody you can go to at all times. You're never going to learn anything. So if a kid, let me just pose this question. If a kid is, in depth, in deep with Jesus, and he goes to churches when he has a conundrum and he's, I don't know what to do. I better go pray on this. I've heard people say that. That's a real thing. I have to go pray on this. So they're going to go pray on it, and they don't get an answer. Okay? They're walking around with somebody who doesn't answer them, but they ask him every fucking question in the book, and he never answers, and they have to interpret every little thing. Oh, this cricket just farted, so maybe that's Jesus talking to me. And he says I should go.
If this ends with Jesus coming back from the dead and fucking answering Q&As.
Well, no, but that's the thing. That guy who played Jesus is long dead. So you can't bring him back. That is
played Jesus.
That is an immoral thing. That is not on the block. What's on the block now is people who are voting for this, people who want to do this. Nobody's forcing anybody to do it.
Right.
So if you feel
atheists who believe that there's no afterlife, right, and the heaven or hell myth that you've been sold can be beaten because we just believe that the soul, the consciousness is coming from our brain and what we've been taught and developed into, but it's all just electrical signals. So in that 2045 RU, before we even get to the nanobots that we've talked about, where it's a digital conscious copy or upload, there's a time where there's a genetic where they're doing brain transplants, putting you in an iRobot. That has to kind of happen before the other is able to. It's all steps in the process. But this video he sent earlier today definitely triggered me in the fact of, like, if they're showing that, then they've already got it at nanobot level.
Well, listen, one last question. When has society / government ever not forced people to do something?
This would cost them money. They won't do. They don't do this.
It
this
could potentially be extra slave labor. And
so let me ask you a question
tax.
then. So how come they aren't forcing people to have plastic surgery? How come they're not forcing? Well, they should, but they don't. How come they're not forcing people to do?
Maybe you haven't seen Charlotte lately.
I did the spot here. I need to get done.
But again, this isn't something that they're forcing people to do. This is okay. This is your choice. You go do it. You're an adult. You're paying the money. You're footing the bill. You're good. So, what's the difference? That's what I want to know. I want to know from you, you guys. What is the difference between? Okay, I have my clone dad who I can go ask and say, "Hey, Dad, what do you think of this?" And he'll go, "Well, I remember in college I did this." As opposed to, "Hey, Jesus, what should I do? Should I go? Should I not go?" Okay, I'll figure it out, Jesus. Thanks for helping.
Okay, so
what's the difference?
Here's the deal. Okay, number one, that's a valid point. So kudos to you there, Davy Crockett.
It wasn't when I fucking brought up Superman, though. I'm the asshole.
Hold on. No, you were an asshole then.
Gotta know the room, kid.
Okay. Secondly, what I want to say is this. In a scenario like that, where you prepare your children for your demise from this planet, and you videotaped yourself and you put yourself in freaking crystals where they pop it into something, and you could learn a life lesson about a certain situation, that's fine. Okay, because you're still
dope as fuck if they had that.
Now, but for you to take your consciousness and put it in a robot, so every time they want to talk to you, they open up a laptop and it's you. And then when they close the laptop, you're not there anymore. That's freaky. That's immoral. That's unnatural.
That's the highest level in the 20. You see, you got to go watch a 45 RU video.
But it doesn't matter. Here's what I want.
After nanobots, we go into a digital world where we can separate ourselves from the physical and exist in a completely digital world because our consciousness has been digitized.
Well, listen, here's the deal, though.
So if you untether me by shutting the laptop, can I go wander the internet?
Yeah, you can go to World of Warcraft.
Yeah, you could be Wreck-It Ralph, dude. But look, here's the deal. None of that's going to happen because we're supposed to be dead in the next 11 years because of climate change. Oh, wow. And if you guys don't realize that, just talk to Greta Thunberg. She'll tell you, how dare you? How dare you?
I'm still watching out for the acid rain, Stevie.
Yeah. Well, let's put a little twist on that, though, which could actually already be what we're talking about. And that kind of got quelled over the past year, but that's an Elon Musk thing. That was a couple other physicists, people with the quantum computing, talking about how popular the simulation theory was, that we're actually living in the Matrix. Because that's kind of what we're talking about. Okay, what if people all start to die off, but we're not repopulating, and then it's all digital conscious?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. I was thinking about that. Is that a way to do the population? Because these avatars aren't going to need food, so that's not a part of it. But I thought, where do we go generationally? So imagine 300 years in the future, and it's GGP's great grandkid, and this has become normal. There's no longer funeral parlors. They just burn your body or do whatever you want with it still. Now grandpa can be a nanobot that can be turned off, turned on when you need them. You could have a whole council of your family members to come out and give you advice from wisdom of the ages type shit, and then go back into the family mausoleum where they just power down when you need them. You know what I mean? There's a whole different type of the way of the future, how we could look into our family's past by preserving their entire soul or consciousness, whatever you're believing in. And just because we live in this standard now of prepare your kids to die so they're not traumatized, why do we have to go to that confine? Because it did it? Why can't we say infinite life forever, and we get to see and shape the world based on that wisdom that would have been lost.
But it's not your consciousness. If you're cloning your consciousness, your original consciousness demises when your body dies. So you're still going to heaven or hell or fade to black, wherever the scenario is. It's a copy of your AI, in an AI, you're saying, of your consciousness. So it's not even you. It's a carbon copy of yourself.
Or
You're talking about consciousness as far as opposed to soul. Now we're getting into something that's faith-based. Well,
Sure.
Here's another thing. Just a real thing that would happen is the haves and have-nots. If
Right.
I'm poor,
oh yeah,
I have to mourn because I can't
Correct.
have that access.
Yep. You're right.
Yep.
Yes.
It's an interesting concept on both sides, but it's not the faith-based ones that are driving this transhumanism with billions of dollars in money to get it there. However, the Ray Kurzweils and Google and these Russian billionaires are. So it's something definitely to keep an eye on.
Let me ask a question. This is less sinister than everything else and all this other shit. So
Today,
sorry, this is just coming in breaking news, you guys. Oh shit! Of course, botch a spot.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? So I'm still better off than him.
as of today, I'd like to officially announce that I quit fucking WWE. I am no longer employee. I refuse to work for racists.
Somebody called him an Uncle Tom in the chat, and he gets all hot about it.
I fucking quit. Fuck them. I hate that fucking company and everything they fucking stand for. All they did was ever hold our fucking people back. I do this shit for the culture. I don't need anyone's fucking permission to do what I want to do. Screw Jordan Miles. Don't ever call me by that slave name. Call me ACH and don't forget the super bitch. I quit. Fuck you.
wow, Sasha sounds hot.
Yeah, she's mad, dude.
Wow.
This big heel turn isn't turning out like she expected it to.
Too far.
Oh,
When he said I quit fucking WWE, I thought he had broken up with WWE.
Yeah. Now they're just dating.
yeah.
They're not fucking anymore.
Listen, this is first of all, man. I mean, this is the problem here. As far as you announce it on Twitter, rather than just going and quitting the company and trying to get another job.
Yep.
Right.
Then or Twitter and Instagram or whatever he's on. Then you're doing it live, which people are going to say stupid shit or get mad because you can't like or dislike a video, whatever it might be. And if you sell it, then they're going to just know they got you.
Yep.
And the fact that he called Jay Lethal that name, they're just kind of ribbing him back because of that, right?
Yep.
So nobody said that to him out of the blue.
Right.
That was because
that
he
was a
called Jay Lethal
self-fulfilling
that.
prophecy.
Well, it was the first thing in the Periscope chat was somebody calling him an Uncle Tom, and he fucking sells for it hard with his face, dude. Like, so here's the thing: he's out of there. He's doing it for the culture, baby. Yeah, right. Maybe. ROH, he's obviously burned that bridge. I don't think AEW would touch him with a 10-foot pole right now. Impact, what's he going to make? $250 a show, and then maybe go to New Japan. So I look forward to the culture sending him his paycheck next week. I want to see how much that's.
A very talented guy, and actually to an extent, I heard when I was working at Ring of Honor, they talked about how he just needed some guidance as far as like he would just open his mouth when he shouldn't have, or Daniels and Kazarian were like, he's a good kid. He just kind of puts his foot in his mouth, which I know exactly what that's like early in my career too.
Sure.
So nothing to that degree, what we just heard, but this kind of stuff is just, I don't know. And he's not getting any traction. Even this week with Kaepernick training with that workout on Saturday in Atlanta, there's no traction on this for the culture thing. And people think he's trying to piggyback off Kaepernick, and it's not working. You don't see any mainstream news about him. None.
Yeah.
It would be a perfect package to throw him all together in there.
Yep.
Well, Kaepernick doesn't talk at all. This kid talks way too much.
Yeah, it was the same thing with what was I just said his name, I forgot it already. Bobby Lashley's little buddy there.
Oh,
Leo
Leo
Rush.
Leo Rush.
Same gimmick, right? And then we also see, GGP. You can take that spot in NXT, and
I'll take it.
I'll put the mask on, and I'll be Ben Cara, and we'll be right back on the
That's
roster.
dope. That'd be awesome.
They hate Greeks. Hate them.
They hate Greeks.
They hate them. They don't have any.
Good thing.
No Greeks.
You don't think I haven't pitched that to them, dude? Come on, bro. I even got an email from one of them from what's his name, Canyon Seaman. We don't care about your Greek culture. Oh, fuck you. Go play volleyball there. If it wasn't for the Greeks, you wouldn't have a job. You fuck.
Speaking of Greek culture,
Canyon.
Speaking of Greek culture, you can get Zordos olive oil at zordosoliveoil.com, officially launched for online delivery now. So Triple D is going to be packing and stacking that olive oil for the holiday season.
I think they're going to open up a place in Pennsylvania for the oils.
Yeah, they're going to put it right next to the Dippin' Donuts franchise.
You sold 3 bottles first order yesterday. It was good.
For your beard?
Stevie 5 works on every single site in existence.
Yeah, Stevie
code
5.
Stevie 5.
Yeah, actually, if you do use the code Stevie 5 at zordosoliveoil.com, you'll get free shipping on every order. And you may also get Jake Hager kicking you in the nuts. Jake Hager stealing Shinsuke's gimmick in Bellator. Yala Horseman, it's K-Bob from the chat. Last Friday, Ben had a bonus Twitch TV live watch along stream during the SmackDown Live. Yeah, I need some self-help. Those are great, by the way. Thank you. It was also the night when Jake Hager fought Anthony Garrett in Bellator MMA fight, and Jake landed 2 out of the 3 knee shots he threw into Anthony's nuts and ended in a no contest after 2 minutes, 9 seconds. Do y'all think this was a plan by Jake to get his heel AEW persona over? Or is he just green and a little clumsy? Thanks again for all the content K-Bob sent from a computer that costs more than my car. Stevie, you got computers that cost as much as cars. Was it a work for wrestling TV, or did he just miss and blast this guy in the nuts a couple of times?
I don't think he would do that. I think it was an accident. I don't think he's trying to do that to get over more in wrestling.
Dude,
I think they missed, though, on Full Gear by not capitalize on it. He needed to kick the balls. Like, that's his gimmick now, is nut shot Hager.
I think he needs to dress a little bit differently, too.
Yeah. What, Sal, you don't like nut shot Hager?
A shot of Hagermeister.
Yeah. The Hagermeister, baby.
Even I don't even drink, and I knew that.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a work. Do you guys, the way you laid it in there? No.
Listen, first of all, this is the Conspiracy Horsemen podcast. This isn't the fucking locker. We don't want to talk about bullshit wrestling questions.
All right.
Or Major League Baseball fucking questions or any nonsense like that. So all you fucking idiots, if you're going to send in questions, at least make them educational. Make it worth our time.
That's right. We only use wrestling analogies.
That's it. And we can use them because we're wrestlers. You guys are just marks, so stop it.
39 dead in Essex from Ash Gooden. Hey, thanks for bringing up the Essex truck lorry death story on your October 23rd episode. I was closely following this as I'm from Essex myself, and all this took place not far from where I grew up. At the time of the recording, I believe the story had come out that they may be have been Bulgarian, but it's since been reported that they're possibly Chinese or Vietnamese. And
What?
The 31 men and 8 women were Chinese. Breaker, but the
wait a minute. Didn't Stevie just cut down his workforce?
He did.
Problem solved. Initially, police said the 31 men and 8 women were Chinese, but a number of Vietnamese families have described how they fear their loved ones were among the dead. Essex lorry deaths, Maurice Robinson in court on manslaughter charges. And he sends a link here to that. Now, if this is part of a global ring of people smugglers and they've now been identified as Asian, I have a theory that the cargo is making an even greater trip across the pond, perhaps headed for the basement in Atlanta, Georgia, to make accessible and affordable resistance bands for a guy who doesn't like sleeves. And of course, I'm just fooling around trying to get my shit in. Ben, have you noticed your internet is really starting to jump around on shows? Have you changed providers recently? Or do you think that censors are on you? Nonetheless, thanks for the great content from all of you. Also, any thoughts of the leader of ISIS being taken out this week? Did Trump need a win somewhere? Kind regards. K-Bob, I believe. Yes. Or no, that's Ash Good. Sorry. Yeah, a lot there to unpack. Obviously, you got your shit in. We didn't really talk about Baghdadi getting taken out in a group. However, I also saw a supposed leader was taken out by Israeli forces today in Gaza as well. So seems like they're pulling the trigger on some high-level ops when they have people targeted. Is it a misdirection spot? Could be. I think they really wanted to give Trump a shine that way and hurt the Dems by cutting them out. But Trump being in New York and getting booed out of Yankee Stadium and then getting booed out of UFC was not a good look. So somebody wasn't protecting him how they should have, man.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
No, I just after seeing they booed him at the Yankee game, and it was like, well, good for you guys. You guys showed him. What is it like? Let's peel it back. What did it do?
He should have grabbed the microphone and go, "That's right, Hillary sucks," and just like troll them right back.
Honestly, all you had to do was just grab his balls and go fuck yourselves and drop the mic. What did it do? It did nothing.
Imagine if he did this thing.
Yeah.
People like, dude.
Oh God, that would have been amazing.
Like, dude, if he wins again, which he probably will, that's when he's going to start being a complete heel.
Oh,
he got to lose.
Like you think Brent Logan, you think people are losing their fucking minds now? If it's heels over strong again a year from now in November, see ya, bud. You thought I can't wait for the Ben Hameen B-roll footage where I can fit call to Islamic prayer out of a screaming social justice warrior's mouth. That's one of my favorite overdubs to do. I love that shit. So I can't.
Glasses.
Yeah, girl, the glasses, the no Trump girl.
I still think that would have been great if he did that at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
if they booed him and all he did is do this, and the cheers from the speakers just blasted out the booth.
Yeah. Dude, because they wanted to heel on him, and that's what New York respects is a fucking heel. So he should have fucking come over
right back at him, man.
Yeah, dude. They should have.
I was gonna say about that no Trump girl. These people on that side need to learn how to edit in and out points, because you see she's waiting, and then she does the big no, she's just waiting for her cue. That's all over YouTube. It's so funny. Just looking to her left, looking at the camera, waiting. Then when he was announced as the president, that's when she did the big no.
I just had CTE flashback to an earlier conversation of a question I wanted to ask that I lost, where we were talking about digital consciousness and the soul, and you guys were putting over that the energy immediately goes to an afterlife. Now, me being an atheist and Sal as well, and thinking that, sure, I'd like to look at ourselves as advanced beings, advanced minds, higher level thinkers, but I'm out there hunting. And that animal is pretty much the size of a human being, 140 to 200 pounds, warm-blooded mammal who raises its child. The male kind of goes off on its own until it comes back around when it has to do what it needs to do. And I shot one from 40 yards away and knocked the shit out of it with a 50 caliber. It fell right over and was dead within 30 seconds. Did that deer's spirit go to another place where it's now running around happily? Or is that only reserved for human being mammals who know that their own self-importance is above all?
I would say yes, its spirit did go somewhere, but unfortunately, I can neither deny or confirm that because I don't speak animal, so we can't confirm it.
Okay. So all the fucking dinosaurs that got whacked out by comets, they're all in
even Kayfabosaurus, he's up there.
All right, I just wanted to make sure that everybody grandma and my grandpa got enough people to hang out with, whether it's velociraptors or all the deer that died that were good deer. The bad deer probably go to bad deer hell. I'm sure they're all down there too.
Probably. Could very well be. We don't know.
Okay.
Where did the concept of the Rainbow Bridge come from for animals?
Dogs and cats. That was for house pets.
No, but where did it come from?
Asgard. Somebody made it up. But Asgard is the Rainbow Bridge, but everybody they kind of took that over for house pets.
This is over my head. I don't know what this is in reference to. Rainbow Bridge is from Mario Kart 64.
Well, here's the thing. If it's
pick up some coins after you die and you're ready
to fly off.
When your house pet dies, when your dog, your cat, your hamster, your gerbil, your fucking parakeet, whatever you got, when it dies, you're supposed to go over the Rainbow Bridge, and it's with other dogs and cats running around in the big open farm. right? But now here's they wound up the Rainbow Bridge, goes to Valhalla, that whole bullshit with Asgard. But now people took it. Grieving people took that. And that, again, now this ties into what we were discussing earlier. This is on the less sinister level of this transferred consciousness thing. People who don't put their pets down. They're like, oh, what if I don't want to put him down yet? Poor thing's in pain, it's suffering. It's, there's obviously shit, but it's a selfish reaction on our part. We feel we're the smarter of the species. We don't want to put him down yet. He might not be ready. So we make that judgment call for whatever animal we're dealing with.
We also could say that with people who are on life support too.
Correct. But again, that's given. That choice is given. So when Grandpa Bartakamo signs off that, hey, if I'm fucking dying, pull the plug. I don't want to deal. Do not resuscitate. So when he's going to go, at no point is he like looking over, watching his wife going, boop. He knows what's coming. He signed the papers that says, when I go, don't pick me up.
And how about, if we could forget about doing it with people, what about nanobot transhumanist pets? People love their pets so much, the pets on the way out.
Nope.
You take that, and now you've got that pet forever.
Why not?
No.
So God forbid something happens to Shemp. You don't want him around forever?
Not his time. When his time is done, his time is done.
See, I disagree. To see, here I am on the other side. When Fifi died, it sucked. And if there was a way to have had her that clone, to have her put it in there, and now I don't have to feed her or pick up shits because she's a robot, but looks and feels the same. Win, 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 win.
What are you talking about? So you're gonna put her into a mechanical dog?
I don't want a robot. I don't want a robot dog. What's wrong with you?
If it has Shem's consciousness and loves you the same,
I don't want a robot dog though.
But it feels the same. The nanobots form to make the hair strand. When you pet it, it kisses you the same. You never know any difference.
Well, no, absolutely not. Anyway.
Hey guys, I can't do more than that than play both sides of the fence.
That was my point. Here was my point that I was going to make earlier. So if this woman who is grieving for the loss of her husband that she's been with for 50 some odd years, they came over together to the country, yada, yada, yada. And she grieves in an apartment. Papa Don, you've seen this, that old, there was an old lady who I knew in Rosedale who grieved for her husband. She didn't leave her house. People would go shopping for her. She'd come, and all she did was grieve. If we turned around and put that out there and just let her talk to her husband again, and she sat in her house,
it's not her husband.
But it is.
It's not. It's a copy.
It's
a carbon copy. Just like when you used to copy VHSs, right? Every time you copied a new videotape off the same videotape, it's not as good as the original.
Exactly.
And the copy is lesser than the copy. That's lesser than the copy.
And eventually that tape.
You'd rather have the lesser copy or no copy at all.
Exactly.
No copy. No copy.
I'd rather not trust technology, because if there's a firmware update or a software update or something happens to the AI, and you got Pet Cemetery right there.
Well, everything can always be fucking re-uploaded.
After a killing spree,
and Nana's gone ape shit and ate the fucking house cat. Then you go, oh, sorry, Nana, we're gonna have to reboot you.
Reboot you the head, big boot. Closing out here with the leukemia question from Vince Leone. Hello, Horseman, a weekly listener to the podcast. And I have one quick question for you guys. I remember listening to you guys talk about cancer and the different reasons why it's caused. I'm currently in Pittsburgh and diagnosed with all, I'm not sure.
That's what my brother had.
Is that leukemia? I'm 31 years old and very active and healthy. My diet is probably not the greatest, but not the worst. I'm finding that ALL is common in young children around the age of 2, but there's been a slow rise in my generation, 30 years old. Just curious on your thoughts, and if you have any tips to keep me above ground so I can keep listening. Hopefully I get a response, but it's not all good. Thank you, Vince, sent from my iPhone. Wow. Well, thank you, man.
Adrenochrome.
And adrenochrome, kill as many kids, throw them down a well, and just start injecting. No, dude, we're definitely thinking of you, and thank you for sharing that with us. One thing we did look into this week, and unfortunately, leukemia was one of the ones that wasn't really being affected too much by this new treatment, but it's supposedly in Australia, scientists have come up with a new way to possibly beat all types of tumor cancer, where they've messed with the herpes virus. They inject it directly into the cancer cell, and it eats it away that way, and then they can treat herpes, which you'd probably way rather be on some herpes medicine than dealing with a cancer that can possibly kill you. So we saw that, and then
who would have thought that the rats from ECW would have been the fucking answer, huh?
the whole time it was right there in Philly, so close to Pittsburgh. And the other one we saw, which we want to do a whole show on, is frequency. They've actually got frequency tuned into now. This was in leukemia cells because they were doing it. Is it called blastula? I'm not sure if I've got that word right.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like obliterate, but I can't think of the medical.
They put out 440 gigahertz or whatever it was.
Yeah, at the frequency, and it's just obliterating those cells that are tuned into a specific frequency. So here we are in a Tesla talk 369, understanding frequency is the key to the universe, and now the key to our health possibly. And just what if we can go get a frequency scan once a year, and it goes over your body in 30 seconds. Anything that might be remotely cancer celled is instantly fucking zapped and killed, and life extension goes on that way. We say there's no,
isn't that fighting God's plan?
There's
no
money
it's not.
in the cure. Yeah, there's no money in the cure, but here's a treatment that they could easily charge a franchise for, where everyone could just be gay. You have to go every 6 months, right? And do it. Yeah, this is interesting to me, the leukemia side of it, though. Obviously, man, we want you to stay above ground and as healthy as possible.
Try looking into hemp oil also.
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point, people who are opting for the doctors poisoning them, with radiation and all these treatments, man, I think enough of it's been exposed from the conspiracy side of me to say, dude, that's not what people need to be doing, that's parts of work, dude.
There was a vitamin, it's either B17 or D17 that they were talking about that it could treat cancer or eliminate cancer or put it in the remission. And instantly when that came out, they turned around and said that it's pretty much you're not allowed to take this vitamin, this B17 shot, or D. I think it's B17. And it's remember I was sending some stories about that a while ago. The thing that really does feed on cancer more than anything from a dietary perspective is sugar.
Yes.
So eliminating sugar from your diet, sometimes the ketogenic diet can be something that benefits people a whole lot because it reduces inflammation as well. These are things that are, everybody's different, but across the board, what I've seen with a lot of people is eliminating sugar, adding cannabis, adding hemp oil, adding all this.
Baking soda, like that.
Baking soda is another thing. Yeah. Lots of very
there's
natural things that can't hurt you. It can't hurt you to do all these things. It can only help.
Yep. That's not gonna fuck with any treatment they may have you on doctor wise. So if it's just peace of mind, instead of like, hey, let me listen to these guys, and not to say any of the horsemen here have, Stevie's the fitness guy, but none of us have advanced medical degrees and treatment for anything. But I'll tell you what, man, when it comes to exposing lies of doctors taking payoffs for insurance scams so they can poison people, and what the real effects of these treatments are, versus saying, let me try and strip it of sugar so it has no nutrients. Let me do that baking soda so I can clean out my body and the effects of that. And then CBD oil, why has it been pushed down? And we've seen people with other afflictions feel a lot better from it and be able to maintain appetite or whatever, symptoms they may be feeling from other things. So give yourself the best shot when it comes to that, man. Do all the research. Talk to all the people listening to the podcast. I know Billy Ray Valentine and I.
Could you say the writer's name again? The guy who sent the email?
Vince Leone.
Vince Leone. Is there a way to get in touch with him? Because I know
I've got
people want to do that. So
Vince Leone 10 at gmail.com. Vince LEONE 10 at gmail.com. Sorry for doxing you if you get blasted out there, man. But I want people to be able to send you something, because we want you with us as long as possible. And here's the bigger question, not the bigger question, but that he kind of poses. If this is in 12-year-olds, why are 30-year-olds becoming more inundated with this? Is this cell phone radiation? Is this dietary? Is this in our
food?
water supply?
I think it's environmental. I think it's completely environmental. My brother, when he was born, around that age, they said he probably had it, and then something, they weren't sure, and then I guess it lied dormant.
Yeah.
And then 22, 23 years old comes back. So it's right along the lines of what this guy is saying. Another thing that's very interesting, Jimmy Carter is in the hospital here in
94,
Atlanta.
right?
Another treatment that you don't hear a whole lot about, except when it's people that are very, very high up there, like Jimmy Carter, is this I can't even say it, immunotherapy treatment that got rid of his brain cancer or brain tumor and other things. So why are they not trying that kind of treatment before radiation and chemotherapy?
Right. Because big money, big pharma has a deal, and they've got warehouses stocked full of that shit, and they know cancer's coming in, and they're going to keep moving it until a better solution for them to make bigger money comes along off you. So
more people die from the treatment of cancer than the actual cancer, in my opinion.
I agree.
It shuts all your organs down. It kills you, man.
Yep.
It's poison.
Yep. And I'll tell you, my dad's tag team partner from Lumberjack and all these years, the Bear, Rob Both, he's been going through it for the last 2 to 3 years and just withered down from a giant lumberjack of a man to kind of a skeleton of a guy. And he was pretty much knocking on heaven's door last week. And it was just because they had his meds fucked up from all that kind of stuff. They got it right. My dad was going to say his last goodbyes to him and called his wife, picked up the phone, hands on the phone. He's back to like halfway normal, being able to speak, no slurred speech. They thought he was having a stroke and everything last week from how he was. So I got to tell you, just because they got DR in front of their name, unless it's Dr. Jonda, I'm not really fucking putting anybody over. Because they're all corrupt. They fucked their whatever Hippocratic oath, It shows that everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man when it comes to big pharma, and your health don't mean fuck all at the end of the day. Getting out to the 18th hole definitely has some value, though.
Remember that segment of that documentary I sent you guys where they give like cruises and trips and bonuses for chemotherapy to doctors? Dude, that's pretty fucked up, man.
That's the telling part. You're going to try and work workers after that. Now we know everything. Just from that move alone, we know everything that you're telling us is based on the bullshit. But, Nancy Browns are going to be like, oh, did you hear about her? And thoughts and prayers, and we'll go visit while she does the thing. And now it's her turn to do it. Like, instead of saying, no, stop. Look at this YouTube video. They're curing it with frequency. Sure, I'll take herpes in the ass to get rid of my breast cancer. Why not? Oh, yeah, by the way, we've got these things we can eat instead of poisoning ourselves and puking and feeling like shit, shutting out our organs. Maybe I'll try that too. Why don't we have a mental shift that way? And why aren't we asking else what are the
convenience, brother? Convenience. They'd rather eat the fucking food-like products in the supermarket out because they don't have to grow it. They don't have to peel it. They don't have to fucking bake it. They can open up a box or a bag and eat artificial GMO food products that taste good. And it's easy. It's convenient. So they can sit down and they can watch their freaking shows on Netflix and just go about being in the same fucking position they are yesterday and they're going to be tomorrow. Nobody wants to work for what they have.
And yet you go over to Cambodia in these backwoods jungles. These people are 90, 97 years old, drinking, smoking, eating their shit, but they're just not doing what we do.
Right. And so, they're active and
they're working. They're still working. They live in dirt and poverty, but they're living to that.
How many old Yugoslavian or Slavic women do you see walking in the neighborhoods like Baba Yaga, carrying logs on their backs and freaking shoveling driveways the size of freaking, who knows? But regardless of that, it's just now you have kids who are 20 years old and they can't even catch a cold the right way. They have 30 different medicines they got to take.
Well, that's again the person, I forgot her name, the reporter. She was 27, 28, and they weren't sure what killed her. It was some sort of sickness, and it was a shock. It was terrible. Thoughts and prayers.
Maybe it was a nano bite on her nose.
Something. Who knows?
Yeah. The Monroeville Mauler wants to know if this is all a scam from Big Herpy.
Yes.
What's a big scam from Big Herpy?
Lobby? The Big Herpy lobby to get into the cancer talk. I think that's pretty much it from the general neutral messaging system. As I tried to cross over the Horseman chat, as we shared a bunch of great stories this week, and keeping an eye on more with the Epstein stooge stuff. If you haven't watched that 60 Minutes episode from Australia with the whistleblower, I think that's definitely going to knock down some doors today, because they didn't even say Bill Clinton. All they do is go after the royal family. So
hold on a second. Didn't we get a redacted version of his black book and he wasn't even in it?
Yeah, we got that file download too. Shit, actually, you know what? Maybe we'll try and close with that. If anybody's got anything else that I'm forgetting about, I'm gonna have to scroll back through the chat to look for.
Well, put it this way: the guy freaking has a picture of Bill Clinton in a dress up in his apartment. These guys are bosom buddies, and yet his name is not in his phone book. Come on, something isn't right. That shit was scrubbed.
Yeah, so we also looked at the Finders document. I'm waiting to see if anything else comes out about that. But this Epstein black book, where there were things circled or, outlined, I should say, of, people who were getting the models. There was a bunch of high level people who were Wall Street level players, and it was stooging off their emails, phone numbers, all the contacts. And
you won't call anybody.
The fuck I won't. I just
you won't do it.
Okay. Yeah, you told me 3 times. I here it is.
You won't do it. You won't do it. You won't do it.
One of them is Courtney Love.
Not a hair on your ass.
Okay.
Or your head.
I gotta write it down so I can fucking.
You want to get your old man glasses so you don't call the wrong number?
I wish I had them right now.
He's gonna call Clinton's number by accident.
I wish.
Hey, who's this? Who's this?
It'll be fun.
We came, we saw, he died.
3, 4.
Get up the phone, bruja.
One says Dana with a arrow next to it and like a P for phone, and then one says N with Dana without an arrow next to it. Which one?
Dana who? Cook?
Could be.
That guy wasn't funny to begin with.
310.
Dana White?
No way is that her number that she's got 666.
So, that is the land of unconfirmed reports.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
They sound fun.
275 4205.
I seriously just want to fucking flay these people.
I'm gonna try both these numbers. To see if she'll come on, because we did a show about it, and I won't tell her if somebody does pick
the
up.
Kurt Cobain thing.
Yeah.
Why'd you kill your husband, you cunt?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna open.
It's Tommy Rich. Why'd you kill him? Hey,
dude, how many people? These people have probably all got their numbers changed by now.
Yeah, but
got any taters?
It makes for good radio. Calling Courtney Love via the Jeremy Epstein stooge report.
Allegedly.
I hope you star 6-7 that shit.
Oops.
Hey there. Is this Dave Grohl? Fuck you, Dave Grohl.
It's 5 o'clock. She's just getting up.
Yeah.
She's just doing her second load.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice message system. 31066.
Jesus Christ.
945.
Isn't this considered to be that D word?
P-docking?
Please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, this is Ben Dorr, executive producer at HackerHamin Media. We wanted to reach out to possibly book you on our podcast to talk about a wide variety of topics that you may be privy to give us good information on and just have a good time. So if you were interested in getting a hold of us, please let me know. My number is 270. And you can give me a call back whenever you'd like to, or email me at haminmedia@gmail.com. We'd love to have you as a guest if possible. Thank you, Courtney. Have a great day.
I had to kayfabe my number. Your number
calls and has a good time with us.
Yeah, what was that about? Maybe you want to call, hang out, have a good time, get your nipples squeezed a little bit.
That's the best part. You're talking to her like she knows a lot about a whole bunch of different shit.
You know what's funny?
Like you didn't
You didn't say her name to the very end. So the person receiving the call is like, hey, I'm going to be on one of them podcasts. Oh, God, I'm going to call this guy back. Who the fuck is Courtney?
It's some Mexican maid who's like,
I want her
don't
to
even
call
know.
right back and cut a promo on us. Like,
Oh, that would be
oh, you
great.
fucking
Don't
God.
I tell you something? I ain't no Ben doing. I don't know anybody in Ben doing. Fuck you, Dave Grohl. I know this is you. Fuck you, Dave Grohl.
Try someone else.
Nah, there's nobody else that
Just
would go that high level.
calls people back and says, I had nothing to do with his death. Like it's just so used to it, she just cuts everybody off and saying,
Just think of how great it would be if Kurt Cobain actually called us because they cloned him.
Ah.
Right? That'd have been great. Would you talk to him, Papa Don? Would you be like, oh, you're blasphemy?
Yeah, I lost it there for a second. I was like, what are we going to talk about? We'll talk about some fun stuff.
We'll have fun. We'll talk about
What do you want to talk about? Swimming pools?
It'll be cool. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. You know,
We'll talk
shotgun
about,
mouthwash, all kinds of shit.
I would
We'll
like
see
to
what's
talk
up.
about, her playing Althea. I thought she absolutely killed it in that.
People versus Larry Flint.
Larry Flint, absolutely, dude. And then a couple other film roles, and talk about that, and then the controversy. If it's there, we do get a hold of her. We do. So whatever, man. If your name's gonna be in Jeffrey Epstein's book with your numbers, I'm gonna fucking call
Is
it.
Vinnie Mac's number in there?
I got that. I got that too. I got his office number.
No, I want his fucking personal cell number. You won't call him.
I don't have that. I just got his office.
You got to call him up as Vince. Hey pal. Hey pal.
How much would you bet though?
If you
that
haven't,
he'd be like,
haven't heard yet, there's a whole new goddamn wrestling federation out there, GGP, that wants to sign you. It's called the FAA. The FAA is looking for you, pal.
I was going to say, how much would you want to bet that if Ben called him and did it, he'd know who it was?
oh yeah,
He'd have to so put it over and be like, Ben.
Well, we kind of had a conversation that now it was like, are there a group of yes men who Russo pitched who listen and know now, who are like, don't let him hear that, keep that away, like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
did you hear a while back Howard Stern, that shit got released of like him in one of the meetings, the Stooge meetings?
I watched it all. I learned a lot from that.
Right, and he's brilliant, and everybody, like, I couldn't understand why they were coming down on him, because he was just using good business. But I feel like Vince has to have the same thing, even if he's not aware of it. I think that's going on.
I would agree. Yeah. I would agree with that fully. Yeah.
The thing with Stern, though, when that happened, I think it just completely killed his gimmick. It made it look like he was a worker rather than being. That's what I think people were upset. Plus, he was basically working the marks.
Right, but let me tell you something. When I got my new car and I got serious, so I listened to him from back when he was on terrestrial radio. What a crazy maverick he was! How outspoken he was! How crazy and outrageous he was! You listen to him now, and it was all a work. He's a huge Hillary supporter, a huge Bernie supporter. Yeah. He's all about. He's in
the club. Once you get in the club, you got to rub elbows, brother.
But that's what
you got to work the room. I know. I'm agreeing with you.
It's just a point of. It's a completely different guy. But his business is sound, and he'll keep that. He'll keep going with that. I'm sure Vince has the same thing, the same level where he's listening to the up and coming shit. Even if Vince never gave it the green light, I think other people are smart enough for him, and then they'll say,
"You're giving him too much credit, man."
No, but that's what I'm saying. Even if Vince is sitting in the dark on top of the mountain, he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He has these guys who are trying to be better, trying to be smarter.
Yeah,
and then he shoots it down.
If he heard us, here's how the reason why is because the Stooges got it to Bruce, and Russo was trying to get a job, and Bruce would have showed him saying, "This is what they're doing, making fun of you behind your fucking back." That's probably how he would have heard it and or seen it, not because he's in touch with like.
No. I don't think Vince has a brain in his fucking head, but I think the guys that work for him, are all going to try to, even if they try to put it over as their idea.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's my idea, pal. I'm a goddamn genius. And it's good to be back.
If Bruce said, these guys are making fun of you, he'd be like, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Like, he doesn't, either he knows and heard it, or he doesn't know it all.
Yeah.
Because he has to know. The curiosity kills him. Like, there's somebody imitating me. I have to see if.
I would say the way I got passed on for a social media job, they know.
There you go.
So, and now you guys know, and knowing is half the battle.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
GI now. GI whatever you say you declare yourself to be.
That is a goal of mine, to be official Cobra one day, just in the comic book, or have a figure. I think
That would be badass.
There, that's fine. I don't
Maybe
need
27 Customs can make you a figure with Cobra.
No, I mean, I want to be officially licensed with GI Joe
for Hasbro and just be on
like Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah,
for that
on the fridge
with Alex Chamberlain, and I was supposed to be Cobra Commander,
and I was supposed to be Zartan, and it never went through.
Oh,
we're still touring. We just didn't get booked.
Yeah.
Was it big Kaiju Big Battle?
No, the fantasy cosplay wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea what that was.
Galaxy Con or something, isn't it? That travels around.
Something like that. Yeah, they do little mini. They do. It's almost like super cons that they do, and they have a wrestling show, and everyone dresses up like a cosplay character. So I was supposed to be Zartan. He was supposed to be Cobra Commander, and
That's
never
awesome.
happened.
See, I was a mark for Kaiju Big Battle. I want to get a job with them after ECW closed.
Yeah.
So we don't need to put a costume on. You just go out there and kill everybody.
I just wanted to work for Kaiju Big Battle. I love those guys. I used to mark out for them so bad.
I think you still can. We can get a shot as long as FAA signs us. We'll be all good.
The fuck's FAA?
Listen to Master Shoot Theater last night. It's Vince. He heard about this new wrestling organization, FAA. They got a lot of new regulations, and he's worried about guys jumping there.
Gotcha.
You can check that out at Russo's brand, or actually patreon.com/Russo TWC for Master Shoot Theater. Stevie and I did the Raw SmackDown review last night. Russo lays it out brilliantly of WWE serving too many masters, and who are those masters?
Kayfabe on that. You can't. You guys quitting over shit like that.
Yeah, the masters being served by masters. So you're way down on the list there, pal. But we'll see who quits this week and who's the shits this week. I expect a lot of people. Stevie, are you coming back in the morning to do Raw SmackDown review, or you got plans?
Doing locker room.
Sorry, locker room.
You're right.
Yeah, I will be tomorrow morning. I will be available. I'll be doing my 90-minute spin bike session tomorrow morning. After I saw the Wildcat match, I disgusted with the way I look. So
wow, you looked fine, dude.
I got it. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to try to figure out body chemistry as you get older. It's trying to figure out like how your body's reacting, where your levels are and everything. It's not just working out and cardio and all that stuff anymore, even just diet. But thanks for understanding what I'm down about it. Thanks, Sal.
That's why I imagine you coming home and crying in the shower, and your wife sets up the tank like Drago had, and then you get in. As soon as you get in, you get right in the tank, and she starts doing your readout, and she's like, "Well, your performance was 0.1 under what it was last time."
Like red and green lights and yellow lights are going off.
And she's doing his whole bio readout. Everything's attached to him. And they have a whole printout, and she's got the glasses on and the business suit and the clipboard. And he's just sitting in the shower, he's in the sauna, weeping. And she's just like, we got to get back on the spin bike for another 0.4 miles. I see. That's exactly every weekend.
That actually sounds incredible. All that. I want to make that a reality. I can't wait for the hyperbaric chamber to get here, which she doesn't know about.
Your life is like Drago's.
But a lot of people actually pop Stevie because making a vocal appearance this week on the Stevie Richards broadcast.
Dude, I completely caught off guard.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's like recording her spirit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And I actually had to go over to Asuka's because I was so put off by it that I was hoping for an Asian accent. I needed to see Asuka's new rice cooker.
You can do an Asian accent. I'll have her do it. She might be coming back this Sunday to record.
Okay, great. I need it. They took away my Nakamura promo. I need something else.
It's funny because I watched the video back when I was editing. I watched the video back when I was editing it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I look so miserable," and I'm like happier than I've ever been. I'm looking at her like I don't, because I'm listening, and it just looks like I'm mad.
So now is that her thing? Is she doing voices now? She's only there vocally.
I'd like to get her on camera, but I don't care. I like to protect her too, protect her privacy.
So let's see. You know what? I want to let's invite her onto the next Breaking Sal that we're just going to have nothing but venom, and she can add.
She has plenty of that.
Exactly.
I got a picture of her right here.
Yeah, actually, people were asking me for the next Breaking Sale, so as soon as we can get that, the better. They would love it.
Well, as soon as I stop getting blown off by Stevie.
I asked
Stevie blows you?
Busy.
That's rude.
He's got the locker room to do tomorrow.
Fucking rat.
That's the lady who is working at unemployment officer.
I was just about to say that, but I didn't want to blow up your spot.
It's fine. Dude, as life's mystery circle turns around us, who knows what the fuck is going to bring us next week. Sally, what do you got going on, man?
For what? Hard Junket. We're doing we're doing the Satanic Panic month. This is going to be there's a lot going on, and it kind of, I guess it ties into a little bit of the Breaking Sal episode we want to do too, because there's just a lot of reason to be pissed off.
I had a great time joining you guys too on Halloween for the Mystery Science.
That was fun as fuck. That was good. I had a great time having you on, so that was very cool.
I'm happy to be able to make the rounds here with NFO or the shows that I usually I'm not a part of. So it's real fun to be able to fit into your guys' labor of love stuff and just be able to sit back and give a little opinion. I appreciate you guys having me.
It was funny, and people going, "Has Ben always on the show?" I'm like, "Yeah, constantly." Anything to give people a listen, I guess.
It was a good time, man. I definitely will if I get a chance to. If there's something I gotta watch and do, I'm happy to do that.
And I'm gonna blow up Chuck's spot. He loves when I said that you were gonna come on. He was like, "Yeah, Ben's gonna come on." I'm like, he's like, "What about Pop Don and Stevie?" I go, "I don't know. They know." And at that point, Stevie had already went to bed. And Papa Don never even responded. So there was that. But
that's because I was taking the kids trick or treating, and I totally forgot. I apologize.
That's fine. No, don't worry about it. I would never hold it against you, buddy.
You should rip Chuck and say, "Yo, Stevie and Papa Don are mad at you." That's why
they wanted to come on, but they said if you were going to do the show, they weren't. But he was excited about you coming on, and we had a great time. And it was funny. I was worried a little bit. I said, how's it going to work out with all of us? And you just dropped right in. We had a great time. As always, dude. Once we started, like the first 10 seconds, I knew we were fine. I'm like, we're good.
Yeah. It was. That
was our first live show. Never did a live show before.
I think it worked awesome, man. And if you guys do more of that stuff, I think maybe even once a month.
Take it easy. Get crazy.
Well, we give these guys a shot, man. But looking forward to that in the next Breaking Sal. Any Comic-Cons or anything like that coming up that they're going to see?
No, they can all go fuck themselves. I have so no tolerance for any of these assholes anymore.
I didn't know if you were going to House of Hardcore on the 23rd or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay. Well, yeah, Allah, Dreamer didn't book us there, so we're back at Immortal on the 23rd. Me and GGP ready to put the stomp on the whole locker room. Infidels, get ready, bring your $5 and come on out because I'm slapping faces. GGP, what's going on this weekend? Anything for you, man?
Yeah, the 16th, Saturday, I'll be in Pennsylvania for Keystone Championship Wrestling. Where in Pennsylvania? Hold on a second. It is
Reading or something?
No, I would remember Reading. The name of the town is actually Collingdale, Pennsylvania.
Collingdale.
So if anywhere near you, come by, Sal. I need someone to hang with.
I know Collingwood, New Jersey, but never heard of Collingdale, Pennsylvania.
Supposedly it's by Philly, the person said. It's 2.5 hours from my house in Long Island. So it's not too far. You know what I'm saying? So if it's around your neck of the woods, swing by, we'll have a good time. That's this week. Next week, I will be at Immortal with my buddy, my tag team partner, my Conspiracy Horsemen brother. And I am laying down the gauntlet, even though Bobby Ocean is looking to wrestle Sean Carr for the championship. I want that goddamn belt. I gave you guys my body, and you put me in the ring with a greenhorn, and I am deformed forever now because of my collarbone. So I'm looking to collect. I'm coming after that championship. If I have to take it by hook or by crook, I definitely will. I am leaving that night with the belt on my shoulder or around my waist or in my bag. You guys cannot stop me. And that's that. The end of the month, I'll be on the 30th. I'll be at NYWC And then December 7th, I'll be in Virginia for Vanguard Championship Wrestling.
Cool, man.
Thank you. And then where I'll be wrestling the Latin heartthrob Gino for his championship.
Out west.
I'm looking to freaking collect all these titles. Maybe I'll get a rub somewhere because it looks like in order for you to get to the next level, you have to play the perception game. It's not based on talent anymore. So if all these mark promoters start seeing, oh, this guy's getting championships all over the place, maybe we'll book him. And we'll fucking actually pay him the fee he's looking for that he rightfully deserves. And yes, I am going. What?
You also got to update and send your boy every week your updated matches so you make sure you get on the PWI 500 because that's super important too.
Well, yeah. Well, I've been on that list for years. But
you're only, I mean, you got to raise that number. They need to see that raised. And there's only one way you're going to do that with this.
Of course. And then I got to answer the question, what have I done the one thing in the last 12 months, stuff like that. But
show me one thing.
And then on top of that, let's see, the NFO's podcast right now is live. You guys can go check it out on Podbean and all the platforms. It's Mandomania. We give our analysis and our review of The Mandalorian. NFO's dropping tomorrow on the Hamin Media Group and on Podbean. That was a good episode. Bin was on our first inaugural episode of The Mandalorian. You can check it out. Follow us at NFO_podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube, you fucking hacks. All you guys freaking download the episodes, and we have like jabroni numbers on YouTube. We want to pick up the game and show all these freaking haters and freaking herb ass niggas on YouTube and in the Star Wars community that we can actually be more entertaining and actually give you guys a better product. So that's that. You can follow me at Greek Out Papadon on Twitter, Greek Out Papadon on the Instagram, Demetrius Papadon on Facebook, and you can get the new sweet ass Conspiracy Horsemen shirt at Prowrestling Tees /Greek Out Papadon.
Yeah, Allah. And SCG shirts and Stevie Richards and Bin Hamin, wherever you guys want to go for it. We're probably going to get it on some other things too. Some people's requesting hoodies for
posters.
Weather.
Asking for posters.
Yeah, some prints where we could do some signage and we'll do a limited run and kick some money towards Eric Kent for his awesome artwork again, and looking forward to where that relationship could possibly go. We've talked about a comic book series, a small run, and the concept was really awesome. Adam Rivera had a great concept. I really liked it. And, like we said, we'll inch everything forward slowly and we'll all get there together. I'm going to be in New York City this weekend, taking wife 244 to see the Rockettes, and I'll probably take 2 or 3 Rockettes back with me.
When?
Saturday, just coming into town and then we're getting lunch, seeing the show, and shooting back. I'm not staying overnight. And then I will be 23rd, like you said, at Immortal, defending the Middle Eastern title. Nobody's taking it from me. Strictly beatdowns for these clowns. The 30th Border Town Wrestling in St. Catharines, Ontario. We got Congo Kong's back as he faces Mike Elgin. Their big show in Canada. And then the week after, I'm right back across the border again to beat the shit out of Chris LaPlante at Crossfire Wrestling. Beat all the old timers there, Badass, Bobby Bass. Anybody gets in my way, I'm taking them out because I've had enough of these infidels, maple sap sucking morons over there. And it's all heat here today at Conspiracy Horsemen Infidels with your gender neutral messaging system. Catch up on the mailbag. Here we are at HackerHamin.podbean.com, twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen, the truth-seeking brothers reunited once again, and it feels so good. Yallah.